hooker with a heart of gold, prairie nymphs, soiled doves, sporting women, whores.
Prairie nymphs is very cute.
You're listening to The Oldest Profession. My name is Kaytlin Bailey. I worked as an hourly escort when I was in high school for no good goddamn reason. I was just super curious. And then when I needed money for the first time, I got into sugaring because I'm not stupid.
I'm Wendi Starling. I started selling my panties on the internet when I was 34. Then from there, made the very smart leap to sugaring at the ripe old age of close to 35. So I do that to help support comedy.
So every week on The Oldest Profession, I am going to tell a story about an old hoe that came before us because it's the oldest profession, so it's got to have a history, right? And all these bitches have really cool stories. So I'll be telling a story from a sex worker, whore, lady of the night, woman of ill repute, whatever you want to fucking call it, that came before us.
And you are listening to The Oldest Profession.
To The Oldest Profession.
You got to keep things spicy.
What's finger licking good? I mean, come on. Obviously, The Oldest Profession
has a history. Here we go.
Happy Snow Day.
Happy Snow Day. Very little prep. We just were like, fuck it. The levels are
Fuck
up.
it.
Let's hit record.
We have coffee. What else do you need?
We have coffee.
Oh,
we have each other.
We have each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a real fun show. We have a very fun guest.
Very excited. I'll go ahead and introduce.
Hi, I'm Ceyenne
This is Ceyenne
Doroshow.
Ceyenne Doroshow, you've done incredible work. We've talked about you on the show before. I know our listeners are excited to hear about you.
Yes, I'm an old whore with a new trick.
A lot of podcasts, though, like do the intro first, but I was like, we'll still talk shit about what we've been doing since we haven't seen, because I was on vacation. But Ceyenne, please, I want you to chime in like immediately.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So the listeners know. So good job for us for making it here today.
Yeah, we're all very proud.
Through the snow.
It's a miracle.
Can I tell you, when I first moved to New York a few years ago, and the first time I saw the snow, I was like, this is really beautiful and nature's majestic and this is great. Well, I'd never been to Turks and Caicos. I was in Turks and Caicos last week. How did you get that vacation, Wendi? Having good pussy.
Yeah.
I did not pay for it. It was a 4-day vacation. It was $20,000 out of the gate.
That
worked.
That worked.
Right.
I mean, get out of town. So, yeah, and I was like, oh no, this is beautiful. Like, I've been having.
You've been having your bullshit fake scenery with your Central Park
Did
and like
you
the one
congratulate your pussy throughout the trip?
I did. I kept
Look at you, girl. Look at you.
I kept high-fiving that bitch, mostly because he's so old that he would just like go to sleep a lot.
Yes.
So someone had to high-five a bitch. He could throw down like one quick high-five, and after 10 minutes, he was like, darling. And I'm like, I'm going to go fuck one of the guys passing out towels on the beach chair.
Yes. Cabana boy.
But yeah, I'm having like a massive I'm wearing a bathing suit under my
This is the real thing. Please lift your shirt up.
So we'll put a picture
I thought
of this
you were
on the
kidding,
Instagram.
and
No,
she
no.
just
You're
flashed.
showing off.
Yeah,
You're
look at that.
Funny?
It's
But
a
wait a
bathing
minute.
suit.
So it's a bathing suit.
With a man's chest.
Yeah, the
A
prints
hairy
on it.
man's chest.
Yeah,
And the tan.
right. And then I've got a tan.
Yes.
And the bathing suit guy is burnt.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I wore it. It's how I'm keeping my vacation spirit alive. That and having sex with anyone folding a towel. Get ready.
Bathhouse, here we come.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The bus boy at the restaurant downstairs is about to get his dick sucked.
Withdrawal, baby.
I'm like, I need this.
Vacation time.
Yeah. So what did I miss while I was away? Anything exciting happening in New York?
Oh, same old shit.
Yeah.
Different stuff. Oh, how long you been gone? 4 days?
Well, no, I was gone for like a week and then I came back. Yeah.
A week?
Well, I counted as 5 days because I took a day.
I know, right?
Bitch.
It was 5 days because I took the day before we went off to go shopping to buy dresses, and I did not spend even a lot of money because he's not like he's just an old dude that I met at a bar. Mm-hmm. He's not like a sugar daddy. He's not from SA. It's none of that. He just is like wanted to take me on vacation.
What bar is this?
Blue Ribbon on Sullivan.
Hunting ground.
Yes,
Blue Ribbon
coming
on
through.
Yeah. No, it is great, but I think it might be done because.
You didn't give him none.
No, I wanted to fuck more, but he's just like, oh, I'm just tired and I like to read. And I felt it was an interesting thing because in the past with a client, part of what you're paid for is to like not be a cunt. And you have to be like, no, this is great. I want to go watch you play tennis. I would rather watch you play tennis than go to the beach. This is my fantasy. Every time I masturbate, it's thinking about watching you play a sport and having more fun with the tennis instructor than you ever have with
Trey
me.
is also into the racket sports.
It's a rich white man thing, and
It's a rich white dude thing.
And I got a problem with it, and the way he talked to the staff. But because he wasn't giving me a per diem. He just was taking me on a nice vacation. So it's not like I was getting a grand a day to not be a bitch.
Right.
So when he didn't fuck me as much as I wanted to be fucked, and when he was bothering me while I was trying to like get time alone so I could take a shit, I let it be known that I was not happy. And he's like, you need to, you seem a little cranky. And I'm like, I want to get fucked.
That's hilarious.
It was a perfect blend.
I had said, let's pick up a magazine, sweetie. We need to hire somebody.
Yeah.
Could you imagine him coming back to his friends? Yeah, the only problem was that she just wanted too much sex all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
She spent all my money. Oh, was it booze and clothes? No, she was buying male escorts. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the major way to go.
I know.
Fill the void of my non-dick.
Yeah. So
You go ahead, read that book. I'm just over here getting banged in every hole. Thank you. Thank you.
And he was reading The House of Mirth. I swear to God.
Oh, my God.
He's like, it's so great. There's so much romance and intrigue. And I'm like, I am
I
masturbating
am
with the
romance and intrigue.
Yeah.
Do you not see this?
I know. At one point, I was like, we're making out and I was horny and I just was like, can I just like put your dick in my mouth while I jerk off? And he's like, that sounds great. And I was just like, at this point, I want to get off. Like, I'll masturbate all day, but I want to feel like you're a part of it here.
That you're in the room.
Speaking of masturbatory, have you guys been following the Stormy Daniels story?
Oh, I love it. It's
I
the
love
gift
it
that
so
keeps on
much.
giving.
I know this whole pro. This fucking. I mean, my favorite part about I don't know what her politics are. I'm kind of confident. That
Oh, who
she's
cares
pretty,
at this
she's
point?
Pretty racist
She's pretty.
for sure,
Yes.
right? But like, as just one professional provocateur to another, I gotta love a bitch who forces the White House to take the official position. I didn't fuck her, and she loved it. I mean, it's just an amazing thing. Because, and I bet he's just a lousy lay. I bet that's the whole
my
fucking
God.
thing.
For sure.
The guy has never made a woman come in his whole life. You can tell that by looking at him. Right?
I'd rather dig up Charles Manson
yeah,
than jump him. Ew. That's
I'd rather watch dead Charles Manson play tennis than fuck Donald Trump.
yeah, no.
My goodness.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's just he obviously is a terrible lay.
I wouldn't even want to see him masturbating. It's probably boring.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet it's disturbing, is what it is. Right?
Yeah,
Just like
'cause he loves himself. I'm sure there's a
does
mirror
love
in front of
Oh
there.
God!
Oh, for sure.
Nobody
And
else
then-
can get in the way of this
Was
shit.
it, I think it was yesterday. There's a Playboy Playmate that is also suing to
Yes!
be released from an NDA, and like a couple of other people. I mean, this bitch has blown out the barn door on old pros, right? You cannot slut shame a whore, right? What's he
No.
gonna be like? Yeah, right? You can't do it.
No.
Oh, I'm so
well,
excited.
That's the thing with all these chicks coming out. And I saw there was some meme or something on Instagram, but it was like so factual because they were listing like Stormy Daniels and these other chicks coming out. And it was like, sex workers don't need protection with the cess bill. It was like,
Right.
we don't need protection.
No.
That's what we need. We need like we can handle our own business.
Yeah.
We can take care of ourselves.
Yeah, it's the
and
cops
get
that are
shit
the
done.
problem.
Right. It's like we need decriminalization. So we don't
Now,
need your protection.
I would like to see the parents of all those Miss Universe or Miss whatever pageant that is he did, because this is the man you had around your daughters.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, no. But sex workers are the ones who are setting themselves up for a dangerous situation. It's like, no. We negotiate consent.
Well,
What we're
you know,
starting to
you do know his wife's fine art.
Yes.
Her fine art of creativity and her employment was an employment we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a nude model.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
And we all know nude.
Welcome to the big red umbrella, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And nude modeling, that was probably no in advertisement for
I've
escort.
never
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to see Nancy Reagan in a bra and panty, and I'm glad I never got to see it, but we know what our First Lady's church looked like.
Right.
That's special.
It is.
That's
That
the
is
gift
special.
that keeps on. As he
special.
hates sex workers. You've slept with an army of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I know.
Your poor little peepees had more rug burn on it than...
Than all of our knees combined. than all three of our knees combined.
Speaking of
I
old,
wonder if his pubic hair looks like his hair on his head.
Oh my
Like
God,
the-
oh my God,
there's
how
a side
disturbing that would
missing
be.
that he combs over to
Right.
the other side.
do you think he uses hairspray to like
Probably,
keep it in
probably.
place? It's like a weird
And it's
mess.
Aquanet, so you could smell it.
And wax.
When he sweats.
And,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
like, well, the thing with that, with what he's trying to do, especially with him, with all the pushing the cestibles, it's like, oh, I see what you're just trying to get like affordable whores.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
keep
like,
him running scared so that he can get a discount
Right.
and not pay a bitch.
yeah. He's a fucking cunt. Hey, first C word of the snow day. That was good. I feel responsible. It took a while to get there.
We're all doing our best. Speaking of old pros,
Old
pros. So I wanted to talk about one of your heroes and an icon, not just within the sex work community, but also within the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Flawless Sabrina.
Flawless Sabrina. So, many years ago, I met her in Bentley's. And she said, I want to hang out after the club had ended. And I was like,
What was Bentley's?
Bentley's was an old... It used to be, so here's the thing. It used to be the only, like, black, really good club. Back in the days, it was famous for, like, these over-the-top black parties. And then Suzanne Bosch came in and did the club babies, the club children. And it really made it something epic for me. And I was a kid, needless to say, and I was up in there, and Flawless had on a football jersey, a platinum bob, and some leather pants and sneakers. But this chick danced all night. I said, well, God, what the hell is that old lady on? Whatever she was on, she was doing it. At the end of the night, she wanted to go and hang out some more. We were doing drugs then, and, you know, it was all the rage. And she said, I want to hang out. And we had a place to hang out. And she said, oh, God, you're the boss, applesauce. And that was her line. Well, fast forward, she had the conversation with me about being trans. And why was I still out at this age? And I said, my mom threw me out. And Flawless said, oh, no, I'm going to take you home.
How old were you at this point?
About 17.
Okay.
16, 17.
What year is this ish?
I'm
like
50-something now.
all right, so this is
40-something years ago?
30 years ago.
30-something
30 years
years
ago.
ago.
Okay, all right.
And I said, you're
Just for-
going home.
Just for some context, Flawless Sabrina was born Jack Doroshow, September 10th, 1939.
Your birthday.
My birthday. We're both Virgos, otherwise known as controlling cunts.
So Flawless put me in her beat up station wagon and took me to Bushwick, Brooklyn, to my mom's house, opened the door. My mom came to the door. They had the conversation about me being other than gay,
Okay.
which totally sideswiped my mother.
Really?
She was prepared for the lesbian and gay conversation.
Right.
But the transgender conversation was some unfamiliar territory.
Yep.
Never thought about it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I didn't stay home. I ran away anyway. But over the years, Flawless, guided me into advocacy, knowing, sweetie, at that age, I was surviving through sex work.
Right.
I was sleeping in Central Park, and she knew that, too. And she helped me get my stuff going. And then she said, listen, you can't be a girl and wear those shoes. We're going to have to fix you up. And it was some of this, not only with fixing me up, but teaching me life lessons, telling me never to sleep with anybody without getting the money first. Get that money first. And then you got to do less of a trick when you get it.
Yeah. Yes.
That is just a true sentence. I don't care what industry you're in.
No matter what anybody says, find something. If you can't find nothing but saran wrap, stuff that in your mouth before you put your mouth on a raw dick.
Yeah.
And it was some of these lessons that made sense because clients would often ask, can I do it raw?
And
What?
yeah.
I was like, wait, I'll be back.
And yeah, Flawless was like the answer to that question.
She was
always
like, find
no.
anything, a bag, anything, and just.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that makes sense.
Now, what was Flawless's situation here?
Flawless had been an entrepreneur for a large part of her life. Her brothers, Godfrey Diamond and Greg Diamond, are big people with RCA Records. At the time, both Godfrey and Greg were living. Greg passed away. Godfrey's living now. Flawless, a lot of times, like catered to not just our community, but the music community, where she gave them their nights before concerts, and she was the fluffer for a lot of entertainers. I even got to experience some of this back in the drug days, because there were things Flawless didn't know that I knew as a child because of drugs. And she'd call me and say, listen, these guys won't go to sleep. They have a concert tomorrow. I'm on my way. We got to bring them down and get them. So I was the child that could do this kind of stuff.
You're managing the adult children, artists, people.
And there were things I never knew. But Flawless started the Continental Balls. And this was a way of convening and bringing community together in pageantry. And she started the ballroom scene. What we have today, what Madonna and all these people have made a name off of, Flawless. Paris is Burning did not ignite the ballroom scene. It was Flawless Sabrina.
So now the ballroom scene, explain this, because I know you guys seem like you're more familiar with it. So I know I'm for sure wearing a sequined hair tie around my wrist. So
Yeah, you should really know more about balls with that fucking hair tie on your wrist.
You are
Fucking
waiting for
poser.
a ball right now.
Right, yeah.
I know.
All
So-
glittered out.
I know. Well, I got it
Hairy
from my
balls,
knees.
some kind of balls. Any balls.
Any type of balls. That's what I request. What if that's what Donald Trump has on his balls? It's not pubes, he has sequins.
Yeah.
And he just looks at his own balls in a mirror.
Is it, I mean, it must be like drag shows, right?
But not
more
drag shows,
okay.
more pageantry. But back then there was an elegance to the ballroom scene. Today we don't have that same kind of elegance.
Yeah, I was
in pageantry.
reading that like this is the kind of event that people prepared for like all year long, right? Like hand making.
You had
costumes.
you had to really invest in your craft. It wasn't you just getting up and doing this little dance. It was actually preparing, sewing, hair, all of this you had to do, or you had to have sponsors do.
All of the art of burlesque,
Yeah.
all of the art of performance, all of the like a real presentation.
Yeah, sort of like Miss America, but for us.
And then this is during a time when that is criminalized.
Unheard of. Oh, yeah.
Very
if
aggressively.
you didn't have the 3 articles of men's clothing.
What are those? I thought it's not just pants
any
and a
article,
shirt.
any
Money,
article.
a condom, more money.
Well, in Flawless's creative line in Flawless's mind, Flawless would cut the bands of underwear and sew a skirt onto it. It's still the underwear, sweetie. It still says Fruit of the Loom. Or she would take a tie and make a hat out of it.
Yep.
It's still a tie.
It's still a tie. So she's incorporating
So-
the technical elements. Artists are so good at this. Artists are so good at hearing from like authoritarians or administrators
spinning
or
it
dumb
our
cunts.
ways.
Right, yeah, exactly. And just being like, I'm sorry, what's the rule? I can work within that.
I got
can
it.
do that.
I got it.
I got it.
So what they started to do was the police started to follow her. Or they just waited outside her house. They knew she was coming out in it. Now she lived over there on 73rd and 5th Avenue for years. Central Park East for years, over 50 years.
Oh, wow.
So imagine 20 of those years being carted off to jail.
Like every time she left her house. Yeah, I mean, how many
Yeah.
times was she arrested? I mean,
like over 100 times.
over 100 times
For
for
not
dressing,
wearing the appropriate
Holy
clothing.
for dressing outside
So-
of her gender.
So this was what? Like, it's got to be what, in the 60s?
In the 50s, 60s.
50s, 60s. When was I guess walking while trans decriminalized? I mean, I guess it still hasn't been decriminalized.
It hasn't been decriminalized.
Right, I mean, yeah.
could still go to jail at any point, depending on what I wear.
cop's mood,
That's
yeah.
kind of why I structured being a hoe into wearing business suits and nice long skirts, because now I look like the average bitch walking through, just a little better.
Yeah.
It's just a little
Just
better.
a little bit.
Okay. So when they're chasing all the other girls, I'm just strolling.
With your briefcase.
But yes, yes. I remember when I was on a block on 14th Street, the girls used to hate me because I would never wear the obvious. I would wear a beautiful pair of stockings, and who knew? A pair of stockings can get you paid.
Yep.
Like one date paid me $300 to take them off.
Right.
Well, God damn it. I stopped right there in the street, took my shoes off, gave him the, here.
Did you know that these were $3? I feel like that's
No, 99 cents.
Well, girl.
I made a profit, damn it. Who knew? He took the stockings, tore them open, smelt them, gave me my money. Who knew? I said, oh my God. Then I realized, okay, if I'm not with the crowd, And it was her that said, she said, listen, if you're making money, leave those kids alone. You're making money for you. You're not making money to socialize, to hang out on the corner. You have to find a way to change this corner demographic, which she was 100% right. But being young, you kind of want to go out into...
Well, she acted in a lot of ways as like your chosen family, your chosen mother. And there's, you know, with any mom, whether she's chosen or not, there's a like, Ma... No, I want to do it my way. No, get out of my room.
And she kind of like, she never like beat me for it. But when I was going through like the drugs and everything, and she seen that this was not just for play, it was a habit.
Right.
She had a way of not really cursing me out, but saying, baby, do you want to go away? And not to a rehab. I mean, away out of the state to clean up without the shit.
Right.
Opposed to, let me send you to a rehab to drive you further crazy.
To be institutionalized.
Yeah.
Right.
And sent me to Nyack to a mom's house. And it was things like this that helped me know this is family. If my family turned their backs on me 1,000 times, look at what this white old lady's doing for me. That's not even blood.
Right.
That's unconditional. When I graduated from college, she was the only one who had the conversation. I wanted to drop out first week. I was misgendered. I can't even begin to tell you. And coming from New York and going to Michigan, she sent me to Michigan because I could not do it here. Right. I would have never went to college
Too
here.
easy to lose focus.
I couldn't.
You had too many things pulling you away.
I was the hoe of Baghdad. I started fucking people in NYU. Yeah, all of them. All of them. I went through like 50 fucking guys in the first 2 weeks. I was in the bathroom camping.
That's how I was at the College of Charleston.
Yeah, it was like country boys. Get me. You're from out of town. Get me.
Yeah.
It was... You're in the shower. Come on.
Right.
It was too much.
I want to live life aggressively to its fullest with dicks. This episode is sponsored by Velvet Swing, which is a cannabis-enhanced lube that is very nice.
Ooh.
You should follow the founder. This is a whore-owned and operated business.
Okay.
Mistress Matisse on Twitter. So buying this product supports not just your own sex life, but also the sex worker rights movement. Mistress Matisse is a big deal.
Thank you, Mistress.
Yes, you can follow Mistress Matisse at Mistress, M-I-S-T-R-E-S-S, Matisse, M-A-T-I-S-S-E.
Yeah, you know why I feel so good? Because while you were in the kitchen about 10 minutes ago before we recorded this, I took the cannabis lube and I jammed it in my butthole. I'll tell you, not the thing.
How do you feel?
Amazing.
Right? You feel relaxed?
I feel my butthole feels great.
Your butthole feels
Oh my
relaxed?
God, I didn't even think about this. This would be great for anal.
Of course. Yeah, you can't overestimate the importance of a relaxed butthole.
I love anal already. I'm going to be squirting all over the wall if I put some... Okay, now I do want to wrap this because I want to go get fucked.
Velvet Swing, so you can get high while getting down.
But also going to Michigan, I was able to transition in a way where they just didn't talk to me or pay me no fucking mind. And she was the one saying, well, are they bothering you? And I was like, not really. They don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
And she was good girl.
Yeah, right. Just good. You can focus on studying.
And finding yourself.
And
finding
out that this was for real.
Yeah.
I was able to not just live at night, but I had to get up and go to class in the morning as a girl. So knowing that this is permanent, this is not something I'm going to turn around. She never said you have to pick or choose. Flawless has always been, I guess, what you would consider today non-binary.
Sure.
So
Flexible.
very flexible.
Yep.
And always kept nice, young, good-looking tarts around her. There was always a young, fine man around her. But the stability her and her partner, Curtis, provided with me was never judgment. When I did get my act together and I started working for the shelter, she knew that this was something real. And she said, oh, my God, I just love to see you helping. You're not just a caseworker in there. You're actually helping them. And I liked it for a little while. I didn't like how the staff treated the homeless people. And she said, then we got to find you something different because they're never going to have your back.
Right.
So I went on to becoming a coordinator of a trans program. And I called her and I was like, listen, I need a name. and she named it. And that was GLITS in New Jersey. And it was a clinic for girls to get hormones. And she said, well, what are they? And I said, they're sex workers mainly. And she said, good. Get them in the clinics, get them tested.
Yep.
That's what you want to do.
Yep.
You want them to be able to get the resources that are out there.
So that they can continue to live their best life
A
according to them.
lot of them had never been to the doctor because they just assumed, I
That there'd
can't
be too much
afford
judgment.
this.
I
And
can't
it
afford this. There'd be too much judgment. People are going to
Right.
tell me
Which
to
there
stop.
was.
Of course.
Which there was.
Yeah.
There were people misgendering them. I actually started to go with them to walk them through the services, and I could actually see the caseworkers like call all the other caseworkers, come look at this. And them stand around the window just eyeing the client up. I'm sitting in a chair. And I wait for the casework. As soon as the door opened, I go, get your staff. Get all of them. Get all of them that came to the front that thought that this was a show.
Yep.
Get your supervisor. It turns out in New Jersey, I am so blessed. The lady that is the head of HRA in New Jersey is also the lady that trains women for the Miss Universe pageant.
Oh, well, there we
Her name
go.
is Miss Cherry.
Okay.
And she came downstairs, took one look at me, and said, come to my office.
That's good.
And I got upstairs, and she said, and I
Give me
seen-
your stockings. Here's $300.
Yes, yes. And she said, anytime you have a problem with a client, come to me. And where are you? I said, our office is right across the street. I had a problem with getting myself in here for another client. But now that I see what the problem is, and she said, well, who are you? And I said, oh, I'm nobody. And she said, oh, you somebody. Because you're handling these girls the way they should be handled. We were wondering why they never come here. And I said, it's that fear. It's that fear of resources.
That incredibly justified fear.
Well, when I went to apply for welfare for myself, I called Flawless and I said, I'm going to apply for welfare. They're going to ask me, what do I do for a living? And she said, what do you do for a living? And I said, suck dick. And she said, that's what you tell them. And I did.
And what happened?
Oh, the caseworker was highly appalled. Highly appalled.
Highly appalled. I
And
love
she
that.
said, well, why? Why would you do that? And I said, how does your day end and begin? Because mine ends very different from yours. Don't ask me that. You wanted to know how? That's how.
Right.
Are you really going to judge me?
Right.
You're giving away free stuff. Give it away. I need
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I really wanted was the health care. And just for that, in judgment, once I say I'm a hoe, you're going to discriminate against me? Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Really? Where's your husband work? I'm going to go get his money.
Yeah, and then just pay the walk-in fee. Just walk into.
I'm
a
an
clinic.
equal opportunity employer.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I have a question because I want to go back to this because you said it a couple times, and I'm going through like a similar thing right now, like in the last couple, like maybe the last month or so. You talked about Flawless sending you to Michigan, right, to go to school there, and you use the phrase. She wanted to make sure that what you were doing was real. So when you said that a couple times. So was there a point when you were young and you were, what are you referring to when you say that? Because when you were young, were you like, is this just like a wild party phase?
No. So when I was young, I always knew I was special. I didn't know that there was actually a category for it until like, I think maybe the 5th psychologist my parents had sent me to in the Board of Education.
Oh, man.
And finally, this little guy in his burgundy penny loafers and argyle socks and Gap pants and pink shirt, button up, pulled me in a room, put the noise thing out, told my dad he'll see him in 45 minutes, closed the door and said, you're a girl.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening to you.
What's actually
Did that,
no
was
other.
that a click moment?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just
Yeah.
got chills on my whole body when you said that.
No other psychologist had ever said that to me. No other therapist had ever came out. And then he said, you can never tell your father if you never want these things to end. This is the day me and you can discuss this. And I think my father sort of figured it out.
Yeah.
That the guy was on my side of the fence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was not on team parent helping you conform into your boy
team
box.
redemption.
Right.
And it was at a point where either they were going to kill me because of my gender identity, and
When you say they, you mean your parents.
my parents,
Yeah.
because it was not only their shit that was combative, it was my shit that was combative too. I didn't know how to turn off the flare. I didn't know.
Oh, really? You didn't have a lot of coping
Oh
mechanisms
no, I had
as like a
sweetie,
13, 14-year-old?
I would cut up curtains like Carol Burnett and make an outfit and be out the door. I would take my mother gorilla fur coat and sneak it out the house. But where I made the mistake was I snuck it out the house, couldn't sneak it back in, put it under the brownstone steps, and forgot it.
Oh.
6 months later, my mother found it and damn near killed me.
Yeah.
But that was sort of my doing because I wanted to be this fabulous girl.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
So,
How old were you when you started like
making
dresses for yourself?
like 9, 10. Oh,
Yeah.
it was evident what was going on.
Yeah.
But to them, it was just straight abomination. You're
Right.
going to hell. You're going to die. I heard talks of you're going to be dead by your 25th birthday.
And what's so disturbing about that is it's like the whorephobia, the transphobia is like made true. It's like the stigma that kills. Like they say things like you're going to be dead by your 25th birthday, and then it's transphobia that's killing bitches before their 25th fucking birthday.
Yeah.
It's like this doesn't have to be true.
Yeah.
And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Because if you it's like any abusive relationship. If you hear that you're a piece of shit
Well, after
over and over
seeing
and over.
abuse right there in the house, when I got older, I took this pattern of staying in abusive relationships. I don't know whether it was because I just didn't want to be alone.
Right.
But clearly there was, and Flawless was one of the people that would always tell me, no, they gotta go. Very nice, but not nice to you.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
rid of them.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I
sure the dick was good.
needed somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to say that without judgment.
You need that voice of clarity.
Well,
like, she's
not
like
only,
a fairy
but
godmother.
just not to hear, oh, you're always fucked up and you're always
Right.
getting these fucked up men in your life. And
Yeah.
that's not what you want to hear when you want to be stronger. But then I had to look back on, well, sweetie, you had a fucked up man. And how did that work for you? You got ass whippings. And how did that work for you?
Yeah.
But total denial
Right.
of all of it. So what do I think in my head? Did that not happen? Or is this in my mind? No, it's not in my mind because I suffered by those same hands.
It's so easy to gaslight yourself and like it's not that bad or it's your fault or this isn't like that other thing. And it's so important to have people in your life that are not just not judgmental,
That are just
but have also
straightforward.
have also fought that dragon before.
Yeah.
And can see it
Yeah.
for what it is.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was so confused with the whole thing, but then it made sense, and it made sense when I was able to get out of New York.
Yeah.
I had ran away and lived everywhere: Spring Valley, Haverstraw, Florida, everywhere, and always came back home. Would home ever really be home? I think home stopped being home when I really identified that this is something serious. So even though I was in a house, I never felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I never felt strong enough to really ask for what I needed. I remember one time I asked to go to Job Corps because I seen it as a way out
Yeah.
and was denied for just hatefulness. When really I think Job Corps would have saved at least my mind from having to deal with the psyche of hiding who I am.
Yep.
Right.
I know I would have probably had to go through a lot worse with people my age, but it wouldn't have been as bad as the internal stuff going on at home.
Yeah.
And it's kind of done, especially in black families, where everything is a secret. We're the Cosbys in the daytime. We're this wonderful, beautiful family. And then at night, you're tearing down the house.
I mean, do you think that's like one manifestation of racism and like the consequences of showing the outside world the family's vulnerability, or is just too high, or
Yeah.
do you think that's okay?
I also think it's a status thing.
Okay.
I think especially in a black
white knuckle
community,
grip
it's
on-
a
yeah.
status thing. We never want people to know that we go through this kind of stuff. We don't come from that.
So just for your background, so you were raised by a black family living in a white neighborhood. Is that
I was raised in Bushwick and Park Slope.
okay? All right.
And my grandfather was a chef for Copacabana. My grandmother was a dancer,
What kind of dancer?
a chorus line dancer.
All right.
And that was a long time ago. And through the grace of God, I don't know how, but they retired at very early ages.
Okay.
Really?
And own a landmark in Park Slope. So I had that grandmother who said, don't talk to one person outside. Literally, we could not say hello to the white neighbors. And they would go, oh, they're so cute. And my grandmother would call us inside. Mm-hmm. And that
Too
was
dangerous.
just, yeah.
Yep.
No, just didn't want to socialize.
Okay.
And that didn't make sense to us, but probably back in the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
a black family owning a brownstone in Park Slope came under a lot of scrutiny.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a vulnerability
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. You don't
but
wanna make
my
yourself a
grandmother
target.
wasn't a nice lady, so her and her neighbor were friends for years over the fence.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't sound like not being a nice lady. That sounds like being a little bit self-protective.
Bit of a snob.
Oh, was she a snob too?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, she would use.
I'm just gonna
terms.
trust that you know your grandma and like.
Well,
the-
she
Yeah.
was half Japanese, and that comes with an air of, some real ugly shit. And the Japanese side did not, I guess, like the black side, and
in the 1950s, that makes all the sense.
yeah,
Right,
and
doesn't it? Right.
my cousin Kathy and my uncles and great uncles are from Okinawa, Japan.
Okay.
And my grandfather's a black man. And so it made sense for not seeing these people. I didn't find out until my grandmother was gone that we even had Japanese people in my family.
Shut the fuck up.
So I helped
Family
my
secrets.
mom arrange stuff and call a funeral home and set up stuff. And my mom said, go to the funeral home and make sure everything is straight. I never went in to see my grandmother, but I stayed at the door and greeted people. And here comes a van load of Oriental people.
Oh my
And
god.
I go,
Japanese people. Oh man.
and I call my mom and I go, Ma. And she goes, what's wrong? And I go, there's some people in here. And she goes,
lost.
what kind of people? And I go, they look Asian. And she goes,
was like, oh, shit.
that's your cousin Kathy. Just walk over there. Listen to me. Just
Oh,
walk over
man.
there and say,
I hate that
cousin
shit.
Kathy. And I walked over and I said, cousin Kathy. And she said, cousin Coy, how are you?
Oh, she knew.
In a
That's not
southern
fair. Fuck it.
accent.
What?
It could have slapped me off my feet.
Holy Christ.
So then I had a lot more questions.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom called me back and she said,
You're
well,
like,
I said, is there something you want to tell me? She said, yeah, I'll tell you later. Is there another old lady there? I said, yeah, she almost looks white. She says, she's not. She's mixed. That's your great, great, great Aunt Margie. Oh, she was, girl, you look like you have a suntan compared to Aunt Margie.
Wow.
And she had these freckles. And I said, Aunt Margie. And she just gave me the biggest, wettest kiss. And
so I want to. So your biological mother kicked you out of her house.
over and over again.
Into Flawless Sabrina's.
No, into the street.
Into the streets. And then how did you guys reconcile? Or was it just like you guys growing up, or like you needed her less, and so you were able to forge a relationship again? Or is it just like
We have our on and off moments.
Okay.
I have a lot of, and that's me.
Yep.
I have a lot of anger.
reasonable?
And there were a lot more things that went down,
Yep.
and I deserve answers. It's not like I'm trying to. You can't shield a problem with money.
Right.
You can't say, well, here's a couple of $1,000 and let's just wipe
Nope.
this clean.
No.
There are questions that I need answers to. And I may never get those answers. I'm realizing that now. It's taken me all this time, and it's taken several blow-ups to not be angry over what any child would be angry over.
Right.
You can't, it's some parental shit. And I deserve an answer. As a human being,
Right.
I deserve an answer. I suffered a lot of abuse by somebody that's not even related to me. Why did you let that go on?
Right.
Because that was harm's way. I was literally laying in. At what point did you not say, this is dangerous for something that came out of me?
Right.
Let me remove this child because this is dangerous for them. It fucked up my education. It fucked up my concentration. It fucked up how I thought every day. It put fear in me that I let other men put fear in me. It really shifted my growth. It was Flawless that kind of gave me some of, and a lot of my mom's chutzpah and fashion, and because she is a very nice woman. It's just these aspects of fucked up shit I can't get over. She's gotten over it and forgotten about it. That works for you.
Sure.
It does not work for the child who was damaged.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Like now, years and years therapy, I'm still in therapy, but I'm understanding more. I may never get these answers. And Flawless told me this over and over again. She said, listen, you love her. Every now and then you drop a message, just say, hey, bitch.
Yep.
I love you. Bye.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, boundaries.
Flawless, I'm so bummed that I am just finding out about her because she sounds like, I mean, just
badass.
a
person.
badass
She
and
had-
just so smart and like together. Do you know? Now, were there other girls that she was kind of mentoring?
Sweetie New York. Oh my God. Some of the heavy hitters. Sweetie New York. Oh my God, there's so many.
So, Sweetie New York. So, when you say heavy hitters, are these heavy hitters like in the ballroom scene?
In the female impersonation scene.
Cool.
Some trans women icons that are no longer here. Some stars. She has mothered countless women and men and children. Diana DeTore, the writer, and Zachary Drucker, who does who did Transparency, are my nieces through Flawless.
Aww.
Yeah.
And they presided over the funeral along with Cam and all these people and Matthew that put this fabulous service together. And it was just a real retrospect of her life. We were not just sitting there, we were hearing her voice.
Right.
We were hearing her conversations. Her trip to Berlin to read tarot cards in Berlin.
Wait, what was this trip? What was that trip?
It was a sex worker event.
Okay.
Zachary Drucker had hair plucked out of her body, and Flawless read tarot cards. Flawless would read people from time to time and was spot on and 100% right. When I asked Flawless for the name for
Spiritually
GLITS,
connected person.
she within it's sitting down eating, and I cooked for her, and she said, well, you're going to name this organization GLITS. And then she explained why.
Now, we've plugged your organization before. We've talked about it before, but just tell us.
So it's gays and lesbians living in a transgender society, because we have always been last on the food chain.
LGB.
Yeah, that's why she said do it like that.
Yeah.
And it made sense. When I lived in Bushwick and I joined an organization in Bushwick Globe, they needed a name. I sat down with Flawless. And she named it, and it just spun out of her mouth.
Yep.
Gays and Lesbians of Bushwick Empowered. That came because of Flawless. They don't even know that. But that's how it happened. There's a lot of stuff about Flawless I never knew. I never knew she wrote songs. I never knew
tell us
she
about the
has a
songs that she
picture.
wrote.
What songs did she
So
write?
she wrote more. How do you like it? How do you like
I
it?
love that song.
Disco. So see,
Yeah.
now that's disco. That's ballroom.
That's-
We raise
yes.
my wrist in the air while we do
Yes,
that.
raise
She wrote
it.
that
get
song.
Yes, and she wrote a song called Sean Papillon, which I never knew she wrote that
Those
either.
are all like disco hits.
She was a disco queen to die for. I remember going to a club on 42nd Street. I lived in Maine. I moved to Maine, and I came down for New Year's.
Why did you move to Maine?
Detox.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Reasonable.
Girlfriend?
I'm like, it's just moose and crazy up there.
I met a French guy.
Oh, okay.
And the first day in, met a French guy and hooked up with him immediately.
In the rehab facility?
No, I wasn't in a rehab
Oh, you were just
facility.
getting out of
I was
just
just,
out of New
yeah,
York,
it's time
yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
And I came back to New York, and Flawless met us at 42nd Street, another Suzanne Barsh New Year's party. And I was calling, and I was like, Ma, are you coming? And she says, you won't miss me when I come in the door. And she had completely shaved her head bald, and she had a rhinestone scalp hairdo. I mean, detailed.
Amazing.
Sideburns and everything, with a black skirt tuxedo with rhinestone heels. She looked like
That
a million.
vision.
It's amazing what this old lady could do with some duct tape and glue.
Ah.
I took lawyers to her house, and I said, listen, there's a good chance she may be getting dressed, and there's a good chance she may not dress at all. And they said, are you kidding? And I said, no. And we all went up there, me and 3 lawyers and a photographer. And Flawless came out the back in them little tighty whities and a T-shirt and sat at the table and started taping her tape and pulling her face.
I think I've seen some of the images of
Yeah.
this. It's watching this transformation.
It's
is
intense.
incredible.
Cement, glue, and duct tape can
Holy
literally
shit.
give you a whole facelift.
Yep.
Oh, wow. We
And
gotta watch that and do it.
I wish I would have learned this shit, but now after seeing the movie, I now know how
Queen.
to do it.
Yeah, no,
the
you guys
Queen.
should go out and check out, our listeners, go and find The Queen, which is a documentary film about Flawless Sabrina.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's just
She
phenomenal.
takes the band from the underwear and put it under the or
There you go.
surgical
Again,
tape.
technically still wearing dudes' underwear. So
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah,
compliant.
that 3 pieces of men's articles.
Man.
This is so cool.
So, Flawless was a big, big believer in people, and some of the people she had actually been around and influenced, Felicia Rashad, Hillary Clinton, some of the people they had actually flipped through her phone book while this service went on was Truman Capote,
Wow.
Florence Henderson, Jackie Mason. These were people Flawless could call
Right.
just to talk to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like this is somebody that had a positive impact, not just on like the people around her, but the culture around her. Like that she had such a positive impact on the whole fucking world.
Yeah, she was the type of person, her presence kind of touched your heart from hello. She had a way of capturing it and never treated you like you were somebody new.
Mm-hmm.
If you came to say hello, she would pull you in and love you and just give you all the attention in the world. Even if we're sitting in a room of people, she would single you out to find out what was your story, where were you going with it, and what do you want to do. And if there's a way she can influence that work. She influenced me.
Yeah. That sounds absolutely incredible. Well, I mean, thank you so much for sharing our story, and I encourage our listeners to go out and find out more about.
Yeah, they need to find out more. Hello, that's
How do you
song drop.
like it?
Yes.
How do you like
That's
it?
really the
It's great.
queen, and this scene. Now I love. This is great. Thank you so much for coming in, and we're gonna.
Thank you.
We're gonna do another episode.
Yeah, this is great because I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's real fun to go on Wikipedia
Right.
and like regurgitate information,
Right.
and then be like, is this? This is so fucking
but to have,
awesome.
but you lived this history, and so to
Yes.
capture it here, absolutely.
and you're like one
Yeah.
of the best storytellers.
No,
ever.
you're
When I've
yeah,
seen
you
you.
are
Thank
just
you.
incredible.
When I've seen you on
Thank
stage
you.
a couple times, I'm always just like, this bitch. Yeah, this is great.
Very powerful
And it's
performer.
snowing outside. And in case there was something weird, I'm not going to act like we didn't run out of battery. And then
Yeah.
Mary had to cut something up.
Yes.
So, Mary, you're the bomb. Sorry if there was a weird transition. I really hope tranny panties got in there.
I hope that takes off. I hope that's a whole. I hope you become a millionaire.
Oh my God,
Go
we should
copyright
design
tranny.
them.
You should design them. You should get a bunch of other people. You should start a whole marketing thing of like, come here for your tranny panty needs.
Yes, honey. Lingerie with special girth.
I see a rhinestone pattern. That's what
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So how can our listeners support you? How can they help you? How can they find you on social media?
So on social media, you can find me on Facebook as Ivy Coy Gordon.
Spell that.
IVIEKOYGORDON. On Instagram, it's Ceyenne Doroshow. CEYENNE And if you're looking to help Flawless Sabrina or the Jack Doroshow legacy, you can go to Zachary Drucker or jackdoroshow.com and get the information.
There's also flawless-sabrina.com.
And there's also flawless.sabrina.com.
Yep. Look, we're reading flyers.
Yeah,
we're with the
we got
Yes.
stuff going on.
It's a snow day.
Yeah.
Give us a break, guys.
Thank you.
And how
Thank you
can
for-
how can our listeners support GLITS?
Oh, GLITS, you can go to glitsinc.org. Look at my site. It pretty much speaks for itself. It tells you the work that I'm doing. I'm just trying to help people internationally. And if you want to donate, we have a button. You can hit it. It's our life's work to protect others. My motto is inspire yourself to inspire others. And that's what we all should do.
Absolutely.
Cocksuckers and all.
Yeah, you're carrying on the legacy of Flawless
Absolutely.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
You're so fucking cool. I'm so glad that we trapped you in this apartment for the rest of the day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And of course, our listeners know you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Old Pro Podcast. Our website is theoldestprofessionpodcast.com. Please email us at theoldestprofessionpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And
We got Patreon. We're gonna make you. We're making Cayenne stay and do Patreon stuff with us today. It's snowing. I'll pay for you to get your nails done. I need a manicure.
Snowing.
Yeah.
We're snowing.
we're snowing.
Yeah, but support us on Patreon.
Yeah, you get
Thank
access
you.
to cool content. We've got other interviews there. We've
Yep.
got all kinds of stuff. Master Cunt Theater.
We have Master Cunt Theater. We'll post a video of us trying to tape our faces younger.
Oh yeah, that
Yes.
sounds. Let's do it.
I haven't got shit to do today.
No, it's a fucking
snowing.
snow day.
Everything's canceled. We got tape. We can find tape.
I can
I
look
got all
like
kinds of-
Lucille Ball in the 70s.
I
Yes.
showed Trey an old episode of Lucille Ball, and I was like, she's a comedic icon. She's one of the first producers.
doesn't
She's a
know who
goddamn
Lucy
genius.
is?
He knew who she was, but he didn't see the show. He watched it, and it was just like, I was like, oh, this is just an abusive domestic violence relationship made with a laugh track. That's all this is. I mean, yeah, congratulations. It's an interracial thing, but it's like every scene is just him threatening to hurt her and giving her dumb rules on how we don't have to get into it.
But see, you know what that did? That inspired her to find sneaky ways to become successall. So so not all abuse is bad.
Not
you know?
all abuse.
That was a joke. Get out of that situation. I'm making a joke. Fucking chill out. All right.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been
The Oldest Profession.